Let's break out the due diligence process into two pieces. First, I think there's going to be an assessment of the basic security of the network of the company that you're looking to acquire or do a deal with. Are their systems secure? Do they have the appropriate technological protections in place? Or do they have a system for making sure they have all current patches, et cetera? Do they have policies, state-of-the-art policies and procedures? Do they track NIST? Are they ISO certified? What kind of training do their employees and consultants do? Are they relying on cloud? Are they relying on third-party connections? How is their physical security? With respect to their vendors, how do they assess what their, the security of their vendors and the risk that those vendors pose in terms of the interconnection to their networks? What's the relationship with the regulators? Have they had problems with regulators? Have they had prior breaches? How do they, have they dealt with them? Are their privacy policies up to date? So there are kind of a myriad of questions and inquiry and lines of inquiry that you should go through to assess the cybersecurity preparedness of the target. So that's bucket one. And that sort of deals with, I think, avoiding bad stuff, I'd sort of broadly put. Liabilities, penalties, reputational harm, et cetera. The second bucket is when you're doing a business where there is, in particular, data. And this really deals with personal data, customer data that you need, you're planning, you want to continue using, and that you may want to integrate with your own data or with other business units that the acquirer has. And here, you're looking at it somewhat differently, which is, or do they have the appropriate consents from the clients to be able to use this data? One, certainly for how they're using it now, but are they for the ability to use it post-acquisition, and particularly in the manner that you are anticipating as part of a larger business unit. There may be privacy policies over different periods of time, so you may have different groups of people who have a consent under different consent rights. So you have to be mindful of kind of the tiering, the evolution of how the data was collected and how it's being used. Are they in compliance? Are they in regulatory compliance with with how they use and store this data? And will they be after the acquisition is done? Are you planning to transport the data outside the jurisdictions in which they currently operate? And if so, can you do that? Do you have the consent to do that? And do you have the regulatory structure to do that? So, that is, I think, more of a looking forward aspect of the due diligence. And that's not so much to avoid liability immediately, but to ensure that what you are buying is going to deliver the value that you're expecting.